Yeah, yeah. Hello, everyone. So welcome to Ignite African Classroom. The main agenda for this event is because we are trying to close the digital um, divide. We're trying to close the gap, the digital divide gap that already exists in the African classroom. And we realize that some of our educators are willing to use these technologies, but they don't know how to go about it. They don't know where to start from, or how to integrate this AI tool, these powerful tools in their teaching and learning practices. And so this is exactly why we're here today, to help you to navigate it, to break the ice, to see how you can start using it on your own. And if you have any question, we'll always be available to respond to you as well and provide the necessary support if required. Okay, so without further ado, we just give it a start. Okay, and first thing that I want you to know is that there's been a whole lot of conversation about how AI is going to be replacing teachers in the future. Even Bill Gates made a comment earlier this year and said AI will be replacing doctors, and will be replacing educators in the nearest future. And I think it's a very tricky conversation, and we must have that conversation. We must try to understand that there are a whole lot of things that AI can do, but AI does not have what it takes to mentor people, to coach people. It doesn't have that emotional intelligence to be able to identify the learner in your classroom that require a separate kind of support. And that's why I totally believe that AI won't be able to replace teachers in the future. However, the teachers who are actually understand the usage of AI, who are using it comfortably and can use it confidently as well, will be replacing those teachers that are not willing to change, that are not willing to integrate technology into their practices. So yeah, that's why we're here today. Okay. So the key takeaway for today is going to be, what you'll be taking away with you is you'll be understand the basics of AI and its role in education. And we've been hearing a lot about AI here and there. But what does it mean for educators like ourselves? What does it relate to? And that's part of what you'll be taking back with you. You'll be discovering free AI tools that are available for you, and how you can save time, how you can reduce the workload that you already have. Because I strongly believe that teachers are doing a whole lot of, and there's a whole lot of workload sometimes, and burnouts that leads to burnout sometimes. And you need to maximize the benefits of this digital education tools that can help you cut that time, and then you can have time for what you do best, which is supporting students in the classroom, and also have time to do other things, venture into other things, like something that you enjoy doing, and with family and friends, and exploring, and without having to always think about assignment, marking, all of these workload, develop this, develop that, quiz and feedback and all of that thing. It's time consuming. So if you are able to slash that time and put that time into something else that can be beneficial for yourself and your own well-being as well, because educators need to look after themselves as well. So this is one of the key things you'll be taking back with yourself. You will learn how to write effective prompts. I know you must have heard something about prompt engineering, and people make it sound like it's a rocket science, like, oh, engineering to only people that are high tech and that are, computer scientists, that are, coders, that are, I mean, it's not like that. I think what it just simply means in a layman's word, in a nutshell, is that it means being able to provide the right question to generative AI, and then being able to get the right answers, knowing what to, because it's garbage in, garbage out, isn't it? It's whatever you feed into the AI that's going to give it back to you. And then that's why we wanted to be able to prompt properly, to be able to get the best out of, whatever AI tool you're using. And let's not forget about, the whole lot of ethical consideration that needs to be put in place when when you're using AI in teaching and learning. It's important that you understand, the ethical consideration as well. And you're able to, explore and you're able to, use them properly in teaching and learning, and not just go, we don't want to be in trouble. You don't want to be in trouble with your school, leaders. You don't want to be in trouble with government. You don't want to be in trouble with with parents as well. And asking questions that you're unable to answer because you've used AI to use to do to work on these things. Okay, so you'll be seeing practical example from an expert on how they're actually using it by themselves in the classroom. You'll be seeing that. And then you'll be inspired at the end of, and that's what I'm hoping for, that you'll be inspired at the end of the session and saying that, that, okay, Teachers Plus AI means the future of learning, and then that you feel, somewhat ready to an extent, that you feel ready for that. Okay. So I'll be sharing a poll now, and I'll just be needing responses from all of us on this call now. Yeah, I've just launched a poll now on your screen. You should be able to see that question and what it says. If you please give me feedback, that will be really helpful for us to proceed. That's pretty fast. People are responding very fast. Okay. Okay. Wow, that's good. All right. We have just 10 seconds more for the poll to end. I'll end the poll in 10 seconds. All right, good. And I'm sharing results with you. I hope you can see the result on the screen. So out of 15 respondents, one person said they've not used AI before. Okay, here is the question. Here is where it gets tricky. For whoever have said they've not used AI, trust me, you've probably used AI without knowing that you've used AI. Okay? Because we use AI almost in, every day of our lives, and sorry, we use AI in almost everything that we do. So, for example, let's say you're moving from one, you're transiting from one place to the other, and you need Google Map. So, if you've used Google Map, that means you've used AI. When you're typing on WhatsApp chat and you're trying to chat with someone, and some text is being recommended for you, it means you've used AI. That's AI recommending some text for you, saying that based on what people have said previously, millions of people have said previously, I'm guessing this is what you're about to say next. That's AI. Something as little as something that we are overlooking that, oh, so those are machine learning and AI, So I'm almost certain that if we are using any gadgets, if we are, to an extent, if we are using any gadgets at all, we must have used AI at some point that we're not even sure that we've previously used. Okay, this takes me to the next question, which is the last one, by the way. So I'm not going to bore you with many, many questions. Okay. Yeah, I hope you can see that as well. Okay. We have about 15 seconds, and then will stop. Okay. And then I'll share results with everyone to see. Okay. Out of 15 respondents, 5 says they are beginner, and 7 said they are comfortable, and 3 says they are confident with the use of AI. That shows you how diverse the this space is at the moment. And that's exactly why we have to be considerate with the pace at which we go in terms of how we explore the rest of this session today. And that's what I wanted to understand, to understand the demographic of like what kind of people are we dealing with today. Are they beginners or comfortable or confident? So it's really, I'm really happy to see that we have, people that are confident amongst us here today, and beginners, and people that are just comfortable as well, which is brilliant. So today I can assure you that we will not be doing anything too technical, okay? We want to simplify the process for you, and that's why we're here. There's no reason to make it difficult. Because if we need to make it difficult, then you can just as well go and enroll for prompt engineering course, or just do, because this is a session that we want to make as easy as possible, and to make everyone's life easier. So there's no reason to make it as complicated as there's no need to make it as complicated. Okay, good. So that takes us to the next slide. And also, I'm going to make sure that we try to make it as interactive as possible. Okay. And this was the previous questions that we've asked, and then we're able to get a response from you guys. And thank you for everyone that have responded. This has helped shape my how I'll be proceeding with the rest of the slides. Okay. So what is AI itself? And then, I mean, we've been hearing, I mean, all of us can, it's very easy to Google what AI simply means, isn't it? Like, but it simply means a machine that actually think and acts like human. And I've given some example, like the voice assistant. If you speak to Siri on your phone, like Siri, do this. If you speak to, what's the other one called, Alexa, it means you've used it in one way or the other. And so AI is like designing a system that can actually mimic the human behavior. Like, for example, like learning from what you've done, and then being able to, mimic that for the future. And then, for example, like problem solving and, critical thinking as well. So AI can do all of those things as well. It is very, very important for us to understand that it does not think like human. Rather, it learns from what you've done previously. And that's why there was a conversation that came up, and somebody said, all of this conversation about AI will replace humans and all of that. I think it's on us now to start looking into how we should stop training it. So somebody literally said we should stop training AI because we are the one. So I'll give you the context, the background. The godfather of AI, Professor Hinton, is a British Canadian professor. He mentioned something around how, AI is that we are entering the future that we've never ever experienced before as human beings. Never. So since onset, prehistorical time and all of that, there has never been anything that is smarter than human. And that's where we are headed. AI is going to be smarter than human, or it's already smarter than human anyway. You understand? And because we've not had something like that before, we wouldn't know how to approach it. We don't know how to approach what's coming next. Nobody knows. And that's why this person said, if we stop training AI, then there's no harm to be done. But we can't. That's no longer possible anyway. And millions of people are using ChatGPT and it's collecting their data as well. You know, people are using it as their therapist. They are using it as their psychologist. They are using it as their, consultant and all of that and all of those things and whatnot. And it's learning more. And that's why it gets more intelligent by day with all of those data. So that's how AI learns, from human being, and then it can mimic you if you ask something related to what you've taught it earlier in the future. Then you'll be able to give you an answer. Okay, think about it this way, like for example, like it's like a student that has been exposed to thousands of let's say, should I say WAEC? Let me use WAEC as an example. It's been one particular subject, let's say biology. This student has been exposed to biology questions year in, year out, year in, year out, year in, year out for about maybe for the last 20 years. So it automatically means that when they go for an exams, you will not compare their level of intelligence to the rest of the class. No way. Because we only get better by practice, isn't it? So that's exactly what AI does. Okay. So why does AI actually, we're saying AI, but mostly we're not going to confuse ourselves. As an educator, what we mostly use is generative AI. So we are not on that level of, robotics and all of that. We are not that scientists, but we want to be able to use generative AI to make our life better, to make our life easier, to enhance teaching and learning experience in the classroom, and also enhance student experience and reduce our workload and burnout. So AI can help you with your lesson planning, marking, feedback, and resource creation as well. And most of all, it will save your time and you'll be able to focus on what you do best as an educator, and which is mentoring your students, supporting students. Because I strongly believe that teachers, educators generally, they mostly do what they do for the love of it, for the love of, giving back to the society. It's not necessarily about, of course, we all have different reasons why we do something, but most of the people that I've had conversation with, they're just so passionate about what they do. And if you're so passionate about what you do, it means you need something to help you, to reduce that workload, like administrative workload, for example, so that you can focus on the human touch, human communication that you're having with your students. All right. So according to McKinsey's recent report, 50 hours of working, they actually conducted this survey from 4 countries. That's Singapore, United States, Canada, and United Kingdom. And they surveyed about 2,000 people. And what they've realized is that, in summary and in context to what we are saying today, is that teachers were able to save 13 hours in a week. They are working for 50 hours on average, isn't it? But they were able to save 13 hours a week just by using AI. So they've reduced the workload and all of that, and they are able to save 13 hours of them just because of the usage of AI. All right. So now, prompt engineering. The key step to prompt engineering, like I said earlier, it's not rocket science, and as people make it to look like it's a big deal. It just simply means that you have to be able to ask the right question so that you can get the right answers. If you want to get gold from ChatGPT, you have to, ask the proper questions. Your question has to be specific. You have to give it the context because it can't read your mind. So you have to be the one that is leading it. You have to be the driver. You have to define your audience. Like, who are you? Who are your audience? Who are you trying to deliver this message to? I wouldn't know if you don't give me that context. If you don't give me the audience, then you set out the output format. How do you want the output to be? Should it be 300 words? Should it be, should it be this long? Should it be, whatever it is? And you can add the constraints. For example, you can say it should remove this kind of words from your text and replace it with something like this, for example. And we can see an example of a bad prompt and saying write a lesson plan. It's going to, trust me, to write a lesson plan for you, trust me. But you will spend more time trying to then edit and change based on what you want. And if you use the other second prompt, it doesn't mean that you're not going to spend time to edit. You will still spend time to do that. But the only difference is that the time you spend on the first one is more than the time you spend on the second one. Because what we encourage is that you just don't copy and paste whatever is given to you by ChatGPT or other AIs. You have to be the human that is overseeing all of that and saying that this is actually right. Because sometimes it hallucinates and it can just give you some, quotation from and just generate it randomly, and it doesn't exist anywhere. It can give you some references, some citation that never exist at all. You understand? So you have to look at it properly. So let's look at the good prompt. It says, create a 30-minute lesson plan. It says that lesson plan should be suitable for a 30-minute lesson. And it's given the subject. It says it's for photosynthesis. And it says the audience are grade 7 students. And it wants you to include group activities. That's the output format, and quiz and homework. Have you seen that? So, I mean, it could be more complex than this, but like I said, we are just going to keep it simple. We keep it simple so that you're able to, start if you've not started at all. If you put this on ChatGPT, based on your own student cohorts, on your student group, based on your subject you're teaching, you would see what will come out. It will be way different than, whatever you might have used in the past. And if you've used something that is more advanced, you realize that that is better than this one that I've tagged as good prompt. So it depends. It's garbage in, garbage out. So I'll stop sharing now, and then I'll go to, I'll stop sharing, and then I'll go to the hands-on session, which we are all waiting for. And I think I've tried to identify different tools that we can use to, to help teachers, like for lesson planning, for giving feedback, for generating quizzes, for, and what I realize is that we do not have that time to touch many tools. However, I'll be compiling a list of tools and sending it on the Telegram page. There'll be a list of tools. You can reach out to me. There'll be a list of tools. There'll be a prompt engineering that I've already designed for educators, and all you need to do is to edit it. And that's like a whole full page prompt engineering and prompt rather, sorry, that you'll be able to just put your own subject, put your students group, put everything, and it will, generate proper output for you. So all of that has been designed already, and it will be available for you on Telegram. And don't worry about it. Please just feel free to reach out at any time, and then we'll be giving you the link to the Telegram as well at the end of this session. Okay. So, so far, does anyone have any question at this time? If you have a question, please pop it on the screen. Okay. Okay, good. I can see that Mr. Sadiq has been responding on the chat. Cool. All right. So what we do now is I'll just quickly move to the. Can anyone still see my screen right now? No, right?
Yes, I can see your screen.
You can still see my screen, right?
Yeah, sure. I can see your screen.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
You post sharing the screen.
Okay. I'm going to be sharing the other screen. So what I've, like I said, what I've identified is one particular tool that can do almost everything that you need to do. And because for me, I believe there's something called, I believe there's something called AI fatigue. And what that means is that you're trying to jump from one AI tool to another tool to another tool, you get tired, you get burnt out, you be like, what's going on? Which one do I need to use? You get confused. So it's always better to have, again, I'll be compiling a list of tools, about 20 different tools, and also be putting it on Instagram, on Telegram page as well. So just please feel free to reach out if you need any of these things, like I've mentioned. Let me just share my screen again. Sorry.
Okay, good morning, everyone. I am Sadiq Kenyoda, and I hope you have been enjoying the section while Dari is trying to put on his screen. I hope you have been enjoying the section. You can drop your questions on this on the chat bot. I will attend to them for you. And please, if you have joined and your name is not showing, please kindly rectify that in case you win something and you want to claim it later at the end of the session on the Telegram page. You need to change your name to your actual name. I have Xiaomi here, so I hope you can change that before the end of the section. Also, you can try to download ChatGPT on your phone. Later on, I'll be taking you through a fun activity. All right.
Okay, I'm ready to. Okay. So, what I was trying to show you, because I needed to uninstall it because I had it before, it's called Brisk Teaching. I had it on my list. I needed to uninstall it and show you how you can install it by yourself. Okay. And I'm just going to. Okay. Yeah. So let's go together to Brisk Teaching, okay? There'll be, the recording is available and you can get back to that, okay? Brisk Teaching. So if you go to Brisk Teaching, if you can't see my screen, please let me know. If you go to Brisk Teaching, you click on the first one, briskteaching.com, and I'll show you what Brisk can actually do. It's a fantastic tool, honestly. And the first thing you do is you click Get Started, okay? And you sign in. with your Google or whatever, but it can only work on Chrome. Actually, I'll show you why that's the case. So log in with your details. I could have just jumped into it, but I needed to show you how it actually works, how you can download it. It's pretty straightforward. It's not complicated at all. Once you have it already, okay? And what happens is you can use it on a video, you can use it anywhere. You will see it together. So you need to add the extension to your Google Chrome. Okay, how do you add the extension to your Chrome? It's totally free and it works like magic. And I've done analysis of like 100 tools, and I realized that this is like all-in-one where educators can actually, get going with whatever they need to do. Okay, so you need to add the extension. Let's add the extension to Chrome. You click Add Extension. You can see it's adding the extension here.
Lisa, can you highlight where you clicked add extension for us?
It's just right on this side of. Once you click Get Started, you see Add Extension. It's pretty straightforward. Do you want us to remove it and go back again? Yeah, I can remove the extension is here now here. See, can you see the extension now? It's here.
Okay, I've sent.
What I can do, I can remove it now and then install it again. Is that all right? Should we do that?
Yes, I'll be glad.
Okay, good. Let's remove it. I'm removing it again from Chrome. Remove. Okay, so then it's asking me why am I removing it? Or just say I plan on reinstalling. I'll submit that. Okay, so if you weren't following before, you can follow now. So now we've uninstalled. So if you check your extensions here, you see it's no longer there, right? We've removed it. So now we want to put it back. I'll close this, and I'll close this again, and I'll start from the beginning. Let's go to Brisk Teaching. Brisk Teaching. All right. Mr. Anyada, please, I can't see my time. So please just notify me if I'm running late so that I can speed up, okay? Thank you.
All right, that's fine.
So now we're on Google, right? We've put Brisk Teaching on Google. So you now click this briskteaching.com, takes you there. Okay. The first thing we do, we click Get Started, right? Okay. And then you sign in. I'm signing in with my own Google account. Sign in with my Google account. Okay. Continue. And continue. So we've signed on now, right? So this is the page. I need to just show this page directly. And you see where it says add to Chrome. That is where we're adding the extension from, because it's already on extension. Automatically, it brings you directly to the extension. And then you add the extension here. Okay?
Thank you, sir.
No problem at all. So click add to Chrome. Then it will ask you if you want to do that. Then you click add extension. So it will start downloading the extension again here. And then within a couple of seconds, it would have it will be complete, and then we can give it a. So it's done now. See, It's done. So your extension is now here again, right? So we have the extension now. So now how do we now use this extension? There are different ways you can use Brisk. For example, you can use it on a YouTube video. It can summarize the entire video for you and generate a document from that video. You can use it on any web page. So, for example, you can go to channelstv.com or cnn.com. And then because you're on that page using Chrome, you're able to use Brisk on that page. And then you're able to do that as well. If you have a document, you can use it as well. So I've opened some of the slides that we're going to be using as an example. So the first one we can do is, let's go to this, okay? So then how do you now use Brisk? Now we have it, right? So how do we start to use it? So this is a story about, the mummy and all of that, Egyptian Pharaoh of Egypt and all of those information, all of those, I picked it up from, National Geographic history articles. So let's say we want to use this as an engaging session for our students. And this is the page, right? If you click that extension and you can see that there's nothing here now at the moment. Just click Brisk Teaching. Now, because it's there automatically, but you don't need it all the time. So it's only when you need it, just click it, it will come. Can you see it now? So it's here now. It says, now we are ready. Let's go. So you click on Brisk. So you click on Brisk now, see what it opens, okay? Now, what do we want to do? This reading level, if we think that this reading is too much for our students, right? Let's say we want to change the level of the reading. Let's say the level of the reading is for grade, like 10-year-old or, 15-year-old students. And then we want to change the level to like for your own class, because all of these things that you're finding online, they're most likely not going to be the same level for your students, right? You want to change it to the level of your own students. You click change level here. So it's changing level now, it's loading the data. And it's going to analyze it and tell you what level of reading this is for now. Okay, he said he assessed the reading level as 7th grade. Here. So now we want to now say our own students are students of 5th grade, for example. And we want it to change, you can select different languages as well and all of those things. But let's leave it in English for now. We want it to change to 5th grade level, English language, and just click change reading level. It will now generate a new fresh document for you. The same thing exactly is talking about, but on a different level for different level of students. Now it has generated a document for us, right? Okay, it's done. It's generated level. Okay. Now, let's say we now want to go through it ourselves just to make sure that, the level is now better. You can go through it on yourself. Now, let's say on this document now, okay, we now want to use it as quiz for our students because we've generated it for them, right? We want to use that as quiz for them. You can now click on this again. You click on Brisk. You click on create. Before we've changed the level, right? Now we want to create. I want you to pause here and see how many things you can actually create using this thing. You can create quiz. You can do translation. You can do presentation from it, podcast. So if you wanted to make it podcast for your student, it will make it like a podcast. It will seem like two people are having conversation and your student can play it and then listen to it. It's an amazing tool. You know, you can use it to, write a newsletter for your students. If your newsletter for that week is about this topic, it will write that newsletter. So now let's say we want to generate quiz for our students. We want to test their knowledge. Now we've generated this, we've asked them to go and read it, and then we want to test their knowledge for it. You click quiz. Okay. You say, what should the quiz cover? I'll say generate quiz. For this page. Let's just put it like that. Okay. Remember, our students are 5th grade students, right? And you can still change it. Trust me, it's just going to make it even more difficult. Or, if they are university level, 12th grade, whatever. But let's leave it as 5th grade. What kind of question do we want to generate? Multiple choice or short response or long response? Let's leave it at multiple choice. How many questions do we want to generate? 10 questions. Then click again, brisket. Is generating on another page. The new quiz. This is the quiz, right? And there are tools for only quiz. There are tools for generating that, but this just has everything in one place, and that's why I've picked it as our go-to tools for today. Okay. I'm just gonna close it, yeah, and it has generated the quiz. Is that at what age did King Tutankhamun become the ruler of Egypt? It has now generated 10 quizzes for students based on that document. And you don't have to be doing all of this manually by yourself, And if you need to edit, you can still edit it by yourself and, change 1 or 2 things if you need to. See, that's it. And you can share the quiz with your students and they can complete the quiz. When they complete the quiz, what do we do next? We want to grade them, isn't it? You can even grade them using Brisk as well. Okay. It says boost student activity. You can use generate debate and all of that. But for now, let's leave it. Okay, let's go home. Let's say we want to generate another quiz, or let's say you have a document that you already have a document, right? Let's say you already have a document and you want to, let me see, I created one document here. Okay. So this is an essay on African slave trade. And you want to try student knowledge on it. I'm just gonna remove it and then put it back. Okay, let's refresh. So you can now test your students on this page. You have that document already. Because most of the educators like yourself, you already have your document that you're working with. You already have your, whatever it is. Or let's say students have submitted their essay. So this is one student that have submitted essays on African slave trade, and you want to grade it. You want to give them feedback on it. So how do you do that? You click give feedback. And now it's going to ask you, what kind of feedback do you want? Is it a targeted feedback or glow and growth? This one is the one I like because it's going to mention the area of strength for the students and the growth where they can actually, improve. And then we'll be able to see the real-time feedback from that as well. Okay. So the feedback would be around, I want to give them feedback on grammar and writing skills. Something like that. You can change it to whatever you want. Again, you can change the grade as well. So let's say this is for 5th grade again. It could be any grade. Let me use another different grade, 6th grade this time. Okay. And you click brisk. This is their assignment. It's submitted now. You want to grade them, but you want to give feedback, proper feedback for them, not just good work, see me later or something like that. You want to provide a proper, detailed feedback for students. This would help you to do that. You can either copy the feedback or you can you guys still hear me? I don't want to feel like I'm talking to myself.
Yes, you are still live. We
Oh,
can hear
good.
you.
Good, excellent. So you can copy everything and put it somewhere else and then use it, or you can insert it on their page. Let's insert this one. So we've inserted their feedback on their page. That's the student feedback. This is what they've done. And then we want to give them feedback on their own same page and return it back to them. See, it says glow. If you don't want to use glow, you can put it as positive feedback and area. So it says you've written a thoughtful and compassionate essay about African trade, and it says you've shown deep understanding. It gives proper, detail about that. And then grow is consider, it says where it needs to improve, consider more specific historical details or dates to strengthen, because if you put dates in your historical details, of course, it makes it even sound more genuine, isn't it? So this AI tool is very, very brilliant. So I strongly recommend it. And then you see that, then again, wondering, how might you explore the economy? So it's going to give like proper feedback. And you as an educator, let's say you don't like this word that is mentioned, just change it, more depth or more information. You just do those little parts of the job, save it, send it back to the student, job done. You've given them their feedback. Okay. Last one that we're going to do on Brisk is let's look at how we can, because we know how YouTube is, right? Isn't it? It's got plenty of resources. And if you have a resource on YouTube for your student already, and then you need to read it and start writing it down and reading it and writing it down, and then prepare the lesson plan for next week, and then do this and do that, then that's a whole lot of waste of time. But if you use this, you can cut your time wasting by maybe almost 100%. So let's try it out for the Google video. I've opened this video earlier. It's around photosynthesis, okay? And I'm going to refresh the page.
Daydreamed before about what it'd be like to have a special ability that other organisms can do. For example, to be able to fly like a peregrine falcon.
Okay, so that's the page that I watched this video on YouTube and I really enjoyed this video, and I want to make a lesson plan based on this video for my own students. So you come here, you have Brisk already, click Brisk. Click create. Let's say we want to create, do we want to create quiz based on this video? We've sent the link to students to go and watch it at home, and then we want to create quiz for them based on that video. Create quiz about this YouTube video. What grade are they? Let's say 4th grade this time. Multiple choice. Let's say 5 questions this time. And we can even create short answers as well. So if you click Briskit, let's see. Okay, I'm going to be rounding up on this demonstration pretty soon because we're running out of time. Okay, got it. Close this. And see, photosynthesis, understanding plant superpowers. It's created it. And if you want to create, I don't know if it's lesson plan you want to create as well, you can do that. If you click on create, you have loads of things. You can even create resources like a resource bank for all the information you need and all of those things, and lesson plan and all and everything, even translation. So please give it a shot. You can create a presentation, PowerPoint presentation based on video. You see how easy that can make your life. So you've seen a video that you like and you want to create a presentation, instead of typing it out or writing it, or writing it and then putting it on PowerPoint, just click presentation and it's voila, it's going to pop it out for you. Okay. So if you see the last one, it's generated the quiz for them based on the photosynthesis, and then and you can send it to your students. They complete the quiz, they send it back to you, make your life easier. The most important thing is that what we are trying to do is we are trying to test our students' critical thinking and then supporting them. But there's nothing will hurt by integrating technology into our practices. Okay. So I will stop sharing now. All right. Mr. Anyada, how many minutes more do I have?
Okay, thank you. You have less than 11 minutes.
Okay. Thank you. I think we'll have the next person join at in 10 minutes. Yeah, you're right. Okay. So we've done the hands-on session. Let me share my screen again. So we've done the hands-on session, isn't it? And like I said again, don't worry, just try to join the community on Telegram or Instagram. Just reach out to me. Don't worry about it at all. I'll be more than happy to share all the resources with you, different types of tools and what they do, different types of prompts and all of that. So don't worry about it. If you're not catching it now, don't worry about it too much. We've completed answer session. The next thing is all of these tools, they looks all nice and shiny and everything, but the most important thing is ethical consideration, that we have to be very, very careful when we're using AI in our practices in the classroom, because sometimes AI might be biased. For example, let's say you want to generate a photo of you ask AI to generate a photo of a pilot. I think in your own mind right now, even in your own mind, most of you that I'm speaking to, what came to your mind is a guy, is a man. And if you ask it to generate air hostess, or what do you call them, or cabin crew, the next thing that'll come to your mind is a woman. If you ask it to generate a photo of what's it called, of a doctor, it's going to be a man. If it's a nurse, it's going to be. So you are the human behind it, and you have to be sure that you know what you're actually doing, that you're actually driving it. Because if you say generate, it will generate that automatically because of the stereotype. But if you say generate a photo of a female doctor, dark skinned, whatever it is, African, whatever it is, however you describe it, it's going to generate it for you like that. So you have to be sure what you're actually asking and all of that, and how you're using it in the classroom, because you want your students to feel represented as well. You don't want all doctors to be all male, or engineers should be all male as well, and then teachers should be female, and these are all things that we don't want. We want to be inclusive in our practices. So you have to ensure that. So for example, the AI is when AI is being used for job for job selection for interview for a job, is selecting people based on their accents. It's selecting people based on their nationality. It's selecting people based on what they look like. So if you are the human that is making sure that you're looking into that thing, then AI has been used for policing as well. And what it's doing is criminalizing people based on the historic information that it has, that this neighborhood in this part of America, they've been known to be criminals and all of that. And so therefore, we're going to profile these people that live in that area. But if you're a police officer, then you have to look into it properly and make sure that the information that is given you is actually right. So there's a whole lot of information on bias out there, and you can even read further. And copyright as well. You have to ensure that, you have to ensure that what you are using, you actually have access to it. It's public. It's for public. You are not just generating it. And you also know that once there are some AI tools that once you give them that information, it's gone. So you please ensure that you know what you're doing, and then you're not just copying anything for the sake of it. And if you copy something sometimes as well, we'll get to that one as well in terms of plagiarism and how you can cite AI as well. If you've copied something, if you've generated a part of your content using ChatGPT, it's always good to be transparent and say this part has been generated using ChatGPT and this and that. If you want your student to use AI, let them know that you want them to use it to an extent. I've seen one of the finest model that I've seen in the usage of AI is traffic, kind of model. It's called traffic lights. Green means that student can actually use AI fully. Green, yellow means that to an extent, you can use AI, but not for everything. Red means that don't use AI for this assignment at all. So if we're trying to have that kind of ideas on our head that we want students to know when to use it and when not to use it, kids generally, when you're, or students, teenagers, in fact, young adults, when you tell them not to do something, that's when they want to try to do it. So we should try to be open, because that's where we're headed to. It's like, let's take an example of calculator when it was introduced. And people were saying, you cannot use calculator. Don't bring calculator into my exam room. Don't do this. Now, what are we doing? We're all using calculator because it's for efficiency. How can we see something that will make us, faster and not want to use it? Let's use it. But it's important that we also ensure that we are using it ethically and responsibly. There's been a lot of exploitation that has been recorded in terms of the use of AI as well. For example, environmental exploitation, for example, because when AI has been found to be, consuming a lot of water when you're prompting ChatGPT or any of this, they consume water to cool down the server as well. There's been social exploitation that's been recorded. Some people from Kenya has been recorded that they were paid I think about $2 or something daily to clean the data that is being used. So this is, social exploitation and plagiarism as well. So if you copy someone's work, you need to be able to, cite it properly and reference it properly. There's a Harvard standard of, referencing ChatGPT or whatever AI you've used. Look into it before you write a proper, when you're using AI. Privacy and data protection. Please don't put student data into your, you don't want to do that. You don't want to put student data into that. You see what we've generated now, there's no student data in it at all. And if there's part that you need to put student data, then you can, download it and then now put the student data into it, because you don't want your student data to go to where you will not have control over it anymore. So the future of education, the future is now, and AI is the future of education. And, and I can't, emphasize on it much. I keep emphasizing on it. I'm in my each conversation with my, colleagues, friends, and all of that, that this is where we're headed, and we all have to, try to, embrace it. And the most important thing, use it responsibly. Make sure you fact check the output that is giving you, and protect your student data, and ensure that you're using AI as your assistant. Exactly as the same as the example of calculator that I've mentioned. It's your assistant. It's not going to replace you in the classroom, but make sure that you are the human behind it that is driving it properly. Again, as we started, AI won't replace teachers, but it's the teachers that are actually using AI that will lead the future of education. Thank you very much. And we'll go to the next Hello, Mr. Ayonda. Am I on track?
Um,
Do we have any question at this point?
yes, you're on track. You're on track. That was wonderful. You can now drop your questions. But the first question I got earlier was that will participants have access to this recording? And I guess I answered already that they're going to have access to it on the YouTube channel and on the Telegram channel. So you have done a wonderful job. Can we please drop emojis to show how happy we are to be here this morning? Can we drop
Thank
how
you.
we feel this
I'll
morning?
be introducing the next person we'll be introducing is Mr. Vijay. That will be you know, putting us through on how to, use this particular AI tool. And I'll just let him, introduce himself and all of that. I'm not going to steal the show. Let him introduce himself. And he's been so generous to us in this platform as well, trying to, provide free resources for educators. And I can't wait to have him on. I will stop sharing my slide so that he can come up.
Before he comes up, we have some questions there for you.
Okay, tell me.
The first one is from Joy Osilaja. He thought Brisk is a good learning resources, but he said, how can one use Brick in a learning place that is school, where they've not fully embraced digital learning?
Yeah, so that's exactly the reason why we're having this sort of conversation today, because what we want you guys to be is to be the champion in your own respective community or your respective school, and be that person that is providing ripple effects on the rest of the teachers or the rest of educators, or as a leader challenging the status quo itself in your school, in your in your respective institution, and saying that this is where we're headed. I'm happy to champion this, and being able to support people. I know where I can get resources from, free resources, certified resources for that matter, because there are some ethical consideration that needs to be done. For example, if you reach out to me, there's a whole lot of AI tool, like hundreds of AI tools that we've fact checked as well. Myself and some of my colleagues, we fact check them and make sure that these are actually very good to be used in the classroom as well. And we'll give you all of the information. There are some application as well that you can use. It's called Ethic Check AI, that you can use to check if it's actually, feasible for you to use it, or how ethical that tool is actually. So we want you to have that, that effect on your own school and take up that challenge. It's not going to be easy, because people are always, resistant to change, isn't it? Especially when they've been doing it and they tell you that imagine speaking with the principal and telling you that I've been doing it for the past, 20 years, 25 years, and it's working fine. Why do we need to change now? So it's about you being that person to say, this is the new norms and this is where we're headed. And we don't want to be late to the party. So let's give it a try. Okay, if we have any other question, we'll wait to the end of the session. And I'll just introduce Mr. Vijay. Please, I'll give you the permission to be able to share your screen.
Thank you so much, everyone. Hope you guys can hear me clearly.
Yeah, I've made you co-host, so you should be able to share your screen. Thank you. We can hear you properly. Go ahead.
Awesome. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to talk. My name is Vijay. I'm based out of Silicon Valley, California, over here in the USA. I've been an software engineer working on machine learning and artificial intelligence for the last about 15 years. I started my career working at Microsoft, working on the Windows team back in the days about 20 years ago. And then I worked in Google Android team and machine learning team before I co-founded this startup. It's called Fringe. It's an education startup. My intention of creating this education AI startup is twofold. First, I have two kids. In this world of TikTok and Instagram, the focus level of students is pretty low. How could we use AI tools, the large language model, either it is ChatGPT or Gemini, to help students get better at education. Second thing is teachers. My mom was a teacher about 30 years ago. I have seen her going through the pain of preparing for every class. There is a lot of administrative work. As a teacher, you guys know it. There is so much work needs to happen before every class. That is another big problem I think we wanted to solve. And the third thing is institutions over here are actually overburdened. They don't have enough resources and they are very late to adopt technology. So these are the three problems I saw, and how could we use an AI tool which makes education engaging, help teachers free up more time. Third, provide it in a cheaper way so that institutions can adopt it and cost should not be a burden, right? These are the three things which I started this startup. We are a very early stage based out of California, and I love for you guys to use our product and give some feedback. So at a glance, what we do, what we have is we take any video content if you can use your phone to record a video. We use that information. If you have any files or PowerPoint or whatever you have information, we use this information to build an agentic AI, which is purpose built and trained for education. You can use any other tools. Let's say there is ChatGPT, there is Gemini, there is Claude, there is a lot of other tools, but those are general purpose AI tools. You can use that to find how can I make coffee, or how can you plan a vacation, help me fix something in the house. You can also use it for education. You can use it for writing an email. It can do variety of things, but it does lot of good things. Okay, right? What we want to build is a particular thing which does very well, right? That's the idea behind it. Our AI agent is trained on educational material, and that's what it makes it powerful in the way that we understand the learning pedagogy, we understand privacy, we understand what the needs of the teacher, and we build an AI model specifically for that purposes. So that is at a high level what we are trying to do. So let me quickly jump into a demo and show it to you. So this is a complete learning management system. So I understand there are some schools which have learning management systems on their own. If there is no learning management systems, you can use our own platform. The idea behind using a learning management system is for teachers to kind of organize their thoughts and put together what a particular course is going to look like. This is an example for a course. So the teachers can come in at the beginning of the year. They can say, okay, here is my syllabus. They can create a syllabus, put it out there. And then here is what my lesson plan is. I want to create a lesson plan 1, lesson plan 2, lesson plan 3. So they can build it up and then they can upload the video. What our AI engine does is it ingests all those videos and then automatically it creates a summary for you. The goal is to kind of provide the tools to help teachers and students together, right? First thing is, as a teacher, you teach a lot in the class. There are good students who take notes and go back home and prepare, but there are some students who would not pay attention to it, right? And they would not spend time writing notes. So what we thought is, how could we use AI to automatically generate notes, and it is available. You can print out these notes and give it to the students automatically so that they can take it home with them and use that for preparation. This is one less additional work, and we've also found that it is powerful for students who are not paying attention to the class to kind of go home and revise those material. This is based on what teacher taught in the class. We automatically generate flashcards. This is very helpful for both K-12 as well as higher education, wherein it kind of invokes the memory so that you can You can use that to revise concepts, what is being taught in the class. The powerful functionality is, I would say, is the AI chat agent. So think of this as your chat GPT or Gemini, but it is trained purely on the material which is being taught in the class, right? So this what it makes it powerful, that there is a concept called hallucination, because sometimes all the AI model will make things up, right? Because it does not have enough information about what you taught in class. So students think of it as a virtual AI teacher that students can take home with them and then use that to ask as many questions as possible, which will help them in their education. So let me give you a quick example, right? You can come in and then ask, oh, what is the example that the teacher gave me to explain? This is a math class. It works for math, science, history, English, doesn't matter. Any language, arts, STEM courses, it will work. So they can come in and ask those questions. So here, this is what it makes it powerful, because what our AI agent is doing is kind of going back into your video lecture, what is being taught in the class, and it's exactly using the example which you as a teacher provided in this class. So one, we are grounded in truth on the facts, on how you taught in the class, and what is the style you taught in the class. Our AI agent kind of looks at the video and adapts to your own learning style and answers these questions. And we also support 90 plus languages. It does not matter that the lecture has to be taught only in English. So we do automatic translations and automatic transcriptions. So this is also another powerful feature, for example, for students where English is not a first language. At least in America, there are a lot of people, international students who come from Europe, you come from Africa, who comes from Asia, India, China, comes in for their higher studies. And the lecture is taught in English. So how could we provide those infrastructure to them so that they can start learning tools in the language of their choice? So we do automatic learning. For example, you can say, can you explain this lecture in Spanish? It will automatically understand that we want that lecture to be explained in Spanish, and then it will give you an answer. So this provides that equal footing for students who are not comfortable in English and they wanted to, if they are in their own language, they can understand the concept pretty well. They can start conversing in their own language of their choice, and it kind of provides an additional ground for the students. Apart from the chat, this is a very powerful function wherein students can come in, think of them as an AI teacher, which they take home with them, and then they can use it. And you can use it, not just, you don't need a computer, you can use it in a mobile phone. It works on an Android phone. You can use your Android phone, launch your website, and then they can use this to practice whatever they want. Apart from that, another powerful feature I wanted to show is it's called self-assessment. So self-assessment is something, think of it as an EA.
Sorry to interrupt, Mr. VJ. We have 3 minutes.
Yes. Sure, absolutely. I'll run through it. So self-assessment is an AI-generated quiz. So AI, the more you use this tool to answer questions and practice questions by students, it becomes much complex. Right? If you answer questions correctly, our AI agent will understand that the students is really good in their concepts, and then it start asking tough questions. If the students is not answering questions, so it knows that here are certain concepts they are not answering questions correctly, and then they'll give them good questions, right? So this is a powerful tool. So teacher does not have to do anything. So this agent is automatically created for the students, so that it helps students get clear in the concept, and also push students, especially for good students who they really want challenges. So it kind of increases their ability to learn. Apart from that, we also have different AI agents inbuilt into our platform. So you can use it for case study, you can use it for lesson planning, use it for rubrics, and you continue to add more AI agent. The powerful thing about these agents is that since it is within the course, so it understands that you are actually teaching math. Here are your syllabus. I have taught only like two sub lessons, so it can provide guidance saying, oh, you have taught two lessons, so that is here is the idea for the third lesson. So it automatically generates the lesson plan, case studies or whatnot for your class. So we are the goal is to using this AI tool in a safe manner, in a secure manner, so that we can help students get better and may better prepare for their exams and what we call it exam preparedness, and also help teachers in removing a lot of this overhead tasks. So we remove those administrative overheads, repetitive tasks, so that we can automatically help teacher better prepare for those classes. So that is our tool. I have a lot of other features to show. Given the interest of time, I'm cutting it short. Happy to answer any questions. I can share the email with there. You can try it out if needed as well.
Thank you so much, Mr. Vijay. Really, really appreciate it. And I think it's worth mentioning what Mr. Vijay has contributed to this platform, and is I think if you need to buy this tool, I think it will be, you feel that impact in your pocket or your wallet. However, he has decided to give everyone on this call today a free access, and please give a shout out to Mr. Vijay.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. I want everybody to use this tool.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr.
And
Vijay.
thank you. Appreciate it.
And all you need to do is just reach out to me on Telegram
Thank you,
again,
Mr.
and then you can get
Vijay.
your own access.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay, reach out to me on Telegram, you get your access. Okay, and then I'll be introducing the next speaker. And then I think with everything we've shown so far, you might be wondering, how exactly do you need to use it, as an educator? How can you use it in the classroom? It's always good, because I don't really have that experience that you guys have as an educator. I don't spend much time in the classroom with students as much as you guys do. So it's always better to have somebody as an expert that is already using that kind of, AI tool, and that they've been using it successfully. So I want this person to be able to showcase that to you, in a real time, and you can see how it's done in the classroom practically. On that note, I'll be introducing to you Dr. Achibong. And Dr. Achibong is a professor of engineering. Dr. Achibong, are you there?
Yes, I am. Yes.
Oh, good. Thank you. I think I'm just going to give you. Are you able to share?
I'm trying to see.
Oh, Mr. Vijay.
Yes.
Can you do me a favor, please? I think I've mistakenly made you host instead of co-host. Can you make me host back, please?
Okay. Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I use Google Meet, so I'm trying to see how.
If you see the list of the participants, you see my name.
Yes.
Then click the three dots.
Oh, gotcha. Thank
Make me
you.
host. Thank you. Oh, good. Thank you very much.
Okay, so am I good to start?
Yes, you are able to start now. Thank you. We can see, I think your screen is loading. Yeah, we can see your screen.
Oh, I'll stop share for a bit and share the right screen then.
Guys, this
Sorry,
is
I'm using
this is the
yeah.
fun part. Please don't leave at this time. There is a whole lot of, as you can see from the agenda, there's game activity and a lot of giveaways at the end, please.
Okay, can you guys see my screen, please?
Yes.
The one with the slide, right?
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Dari, for inviting me to speak. And first, I want to apologize. My camera is kind of on the second screen, so I might be looking away from the screen, not that I'm not looking at it. So first off, we just want to talk about chatbots to chatbots, just how you can implement AI, using AI to infuse into your lesson design. We've seen a very fantastic presentation by Dari, using bricks, etc. So what I want to do, and then we've seen a presentation by Mr. VJ where, he brought everything together using, his AI tool. So what I want to do is to fuse everything together and show us how we might approach this in a typical classroom, looking at the lens of an educator, which all of us, or most of us on the call are. So I'll quickly run through. So first off, how do we do this? I would set out the context in terms of why AI matters in teaching, and I'll spend a little time there because Dari did it justice. I will then go on to talk about how AI partner with you in your lesson planning, looking at personalization as well as feedback, going into a bit more details. Again, Mr. Dari did it a bit of justice. I will then talk about how you might use this to engage your students, and make things a lot more inclusive. Finally, I'll talk about a bit about assessment and feedback, using AI as a partner for that. Before then, talking about one part that teachers often neglect, which is their own professional growth, because in using these tools and trying to implement this tool in your lesson plan, you as a person, you as a professional need to also upskill. I know a colleague did ask about how they might convince authority, how they might convince their peers into using AI to, given the inertia resistance people have to change. So quickly put, I have laid out what we aim to achieve. We would explore AI and how it can support us practically, understand ways in which we could use it to enhance lessons, etc., etc. Basically, the basis of the outline. And as you can see, there are different AI tools. You can see there are very different AI tools, from ChatGPT, a more general tool, to Bricks for teaching, which is a very academic tool. And then the Frames AI that Mr. Vijay showed, which is some sort of, I would like to think of it as some sort of an agentic tool, a tool that you could use for your learning management system that also incorporate teaching and learning. So there are quite a lot of them. And I would like to think of it as a situation where things are moving so rapidly that every day, every blessed day, a new AI tool is being launched that does one function or the other. So it is strategically imperative that we as teachers learn these skills, integrate these skills into our teaching, because at the end of the day, what are we doing? We are training students, we are teaching students, preparing them for the industry, whether it is to start their own business or to work for an existing companies, and they would need the right tools and skills to do that. So first, let's talk briefly, and I know this is a very brief discussion because if we want to go into detail, this might take a week of workshop to get going. So let's look at how we might use AI to plan learning. One thing that Mr. Vijay mentioned, which all of us on the call who are teachers would appreciate, is that we spend significant time planning our lessons, looking at our curriculum, and ensuring that everything maps, everything reflects what we want to achieve in terms of our curriculum outcomes, in terms of our learning objectives, etc. So AI can be a very powerful tool to do that, because it will help us streamline, process, and analyze things, and even map to standards and suggest how we might integrate our things further. So how might we do this? How would AI action things? So I've used UAE here because I live in the UAE currently, but this could be a context of, say, I know most people on the call are probably living in Lagos. This might be a context of Lagos trying to map your lesson plan to maybe the Lagos state government curriculum for secondary schools or for primary schools, but it could also be trying to map it to some sort of national strategy, because in your teaching, sometimes you might be required to map and align certain tasks. As an example, maybe the government might say all students should start learning Nigerian history. They are in Nigeria, as an example. So that might be a situation where you then think about how to integrate that into your existing plans. So it could help us suggest and differentiate activities for mixed ability groups. And what do I mean? So suppose they are teaching students basic programming. In high school, you are teaching students basic programming, and you find that a few students already know how to program. And what happens in such a class for some students would be that they will feel left out, and you don't want any student to be left out. How do you then design your lesson and teaching such that even the students who have prior knowledge, who have some knowledge of your existing class would also benefit? Again, as a typical teacher in setting out your lesson plan, because of the time constraint, you may not be able to do this easily. But with the help of AI, you'd be able to adapt and integrate and make things move a lot faster. It will also help you in creating learning resources. Also search for those resources and compile a resource list or a resource bank, like Darren mentioned earlier. And how might you do that? How might you do that? There's something called prompt engineering, and I'm sure most of us might be aware of it. Is how you ask AI, the kind of message you feed to AI to ask AI to do a certain task, because that is then very important. Darren mentioned the issue around bias. So if you have bias, if you feed it, whatever you feed it in would be central to how you receive a feedback from the tool. So in this aspect, you see, I have tried to place AI as an expert high school educator, and I've asked it to draft a 2-week lesson plan. So trying to make sure that I've defined some sort of time for AI, and then I've also talked about the exact topic I'm interested in, and then I've also mentioned the grade. And if you notice what Darren was doing with bricks, he was defining the grade, because the grade then would determine the academic rigor, the education rigor, or whatever output that would be generated. You don't want to assess a grade 6 student with a grade 10 material. And then in this case, I've said that whatever is going to be drafted should be aligned with the United Nations Sustainability Development Goals, UNSDGs. So maybe your curriculum is set out to ensure that students engage with the United Nations SDG. You can immediately integrate this in there. And then again, it might be a situation where your school has a curriculum, you want them to map to that curriculum, or it could be maybe different exam boards. For instance, it could be the IGCSE, the West African Examination Council, or or whatever. So you have to make sure you list that. Now, the trick here is, if these are very general curriculum, like maybe the IGCSE, etc., you might be able to get away with just telling AI this curriculum is maybe A-levels curriculum, so map to that. But if it is a curriculum that is based in your local institution, in your local institution, and then AI may not necessarily have access to that kind of information, then you would have to feed AI that information. Otherwise, it won't be able to learn. And like Mr. Vijay mentioned, it will begin to hallucinate. So you have to feed AI that file. Again, in feeding AI that file, you have to think about how your own schools interpret how you relate with data. Does the school allow you to do this kind of activity? Then that brings into effect, your integrity, ethics of usage based on your own institution. Otherwise, you could also ask AI to not save your files, to just use your files for whatever purpose you want, but do not save. But again, that might not be, very rock solid. So this is how you set out to prompt it, to bring out whatever you need from the system. And for this one, it aligns to curriculum. Also, please feel free to raise hands to ask questions if you have them as we run through, due to time restrictions. So the next one I'll be talking about is AI as a personalized tool. And like I mentioned earlier, you might find that different students will learn at different pace, or they are already at different levels of knowledge in whatever you are going to be teaching. So AI can help you to personalize that learning. So you could take natural as a teacher, we set out an examples that we will talk about in class. We don't set out for one problem, we don't set out 10 different examples for 10 different levels of student ability, because that's too much. That's impossible to ask. But with AI, what we can actually do is to set out one task for the core of our students. When we set out this task for the core of our students, we then tell AI, look, we have students who have this kind of intermediate knowledge. Students already know basic programming if you are teaching programming. If you are teaching maths, say you are teaching algebra, you say students already know, some students may have already known basic algebra. So we want you to take it a step further for those advanced students. So this is where AI comes in, because once you've set out the initial problem, AI would be able to put it to the next level for you, since you have done, a good number of the job. And here you could see AI in action, where it says you could generate customized practice questions based on each student's performance. So you could map the performance to the kind of problems you set to students. You could also recommend some sort of extension activities for advanced students, like I've mentioned, and then scaffold for struggling students. Scaffolding means to gradually, release it. So as an example, you could set out a problem, take it to AI and tell AI, solve this problem for a complete novice. Solve this problem for a complete novice, a student with zero understanding of this topic. It will generate the solution. You have to vet it as the educator. You have to analyze it as the educator. And then you could say, skip some steps and solve this for an intermediate user. You could also go to AI and say, okay, make this more tricky for the advanced student, so that the advanced student would not then be disturbing students who are on the lower tier of understanding. So you make it a lot more trickier, set them out in a group and let them work. And all of this is possible because of AI as a partner. Believe me, at least from my experience, if you try to do this on your own and completely without using any support tool, I think that this is nearly impossible when dealing with a session. And these are typical prompt example. And this one says, analyze this set of student quiz result and recommend personalized practice exercise for each student, focusing on their weakest area. So you take out the feedback you've gotten, you take out the answers to problems you've gotten from your students, feed it to AI, and in feeding it, you don't just feed it. You have to tell AI what you need it to do. So you prompt it very well. You could even give it some sample. You could even give it your own model answer and say, this model answer is A grade, this model answer is B grade, this model answer is C grade. So based on that, evaluate the student, output. You could also say, that, okay, this is what you set out to examine, based on what you set out to examine, please map students' output to what you set out to examine and then provide feedback. Obviously, like you saw what Mr. Dari did, he went on to begin to look at each of those feedback generated by bricks and then modify those feedback. So this is something, again, that is very crucial, because you don't just rely on what AI gives out 100% and use it. You have to vet it. It is your responsibility, It is your responsibility to vet it and make sure that what is generated is accurate. So quickly, I move quickly to AI as an assessment and feedback partner. Again, something we've spoken a bit about and something that Adare mentioned earlier. So what happens here is that one of the challenges, at least from my practice, is that I struggle to give feedback during term time. You are teaching maybe 3, 4, 5 different subjects, and then you are also marking sometimes 50, 100 student papers. While you're in the middle of teaching, in the middle of the term, it can be a struggle. And sometimes you might have a policy in your school or in your institution that says that you have to give student feedback within 10 days, within 15 days. And then it becomes a lot more problematic because you won't be doing a good job since you are time constrained. You might then maybe resort to some sort of generic feedback. Again, depending on how your school allows you to engage with AI, you might be able to automate feedback. So you could even write a list of feedback for a good, an average, and a not so good a report or output, then feed it to AI and say, look, this is how I've structured this. This is how my model answers look like. Please grade the following, output, and then you feed in student output one after the other. But you have to be sure that you are not putting in any data, that will make AI, that would expose a student's identity, because you don't want to do that. There is the GDPR in EU as an example that guards against that kind of information. Again, this is how AI might be in action, and this is typically a prompt example. Again, take note if you are allowed to upload student samples to AI tools, and also there are ways in which your school can have their own agentic AI that even if you upload it online, then AI might not really be able to store it in their server and use it, but only for your own local use. So finally, just second to the last year, AI for creative teaching resources, like I've mentioned, you could use it to.
Sorry to interrupt. 2 minutes to go.
Okay, so you could use this for engaging materials, to generate interactive simulation stories like Dari showed, and then to create classroom simulations, quizzes, or even infographics as you may like. And then again, I have another typical example here. And note that you have to make things as specific as possible, as smart as possible in terms of smart objectives for AI to be able to produce results. So this one is a very much useful for all of us. Yeah, for teacher professional development. How might you use AI to upskill yourself? AI can act as a coaching partner, helps you reflect on your own practice. So you could, tell AI how you deliver a certain session and ask AI to constructively, criticize that, or tell you ways to improve your own practice. So you could actually do that. You could even ask AI to recommend research papers that you can use for your own pedagogy to improve your own pedagogy. All of that. You could even feed it a research paper and ask it how it relates to your own teaching, or how you can use it to implement for your teaching. So ultimately, AI doesn't replace you. So many other people have said that, but teachers who use AI would definitely, rise to the top. Using AI to co-create plans will save you time, would save you resources, etc., etc. And it is what I strongly recommend. Happy to take any questions if the time permit. But sorry, that was very rushed through.
Thank you so much, Dr. Achibong. And I really like the part that you mentioned, the professional development for ourselves as well. So we should not only think about students, we should think about our own selves, how we can use AI to, develop our own self professionally. Thank you so much. And is there any question for Dr. Achibong? Okay. Dr. Achibong, would you be willing to share the slide with me so that I can share with people if they ask me?
Absolutely.
Is that
Absolutely.
right? All right, good.
That's fine.
Thank you so much. I'll also be sharing this slide as well on Telegram. Mr. VJ, once again, I just wanted to show our gratitude, because I know how early it is in California now, and then you managed to join us regardless. Thank you so much. Much appreciated, and thank you for the generosity as well. On that note, we'll be moving to the fun part where we'll be engaging in fun activity, and people can get giveaway. If you're not based in Nigeria, and in terms of the monetary giveaway aspect, if you're not based in Nigeria and you've won something, please reach out to me, and then we'll look into that separately. All right, Mr. Ayonda, please proceed.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Achibong, and I want to appreciate Mr. Vijay for that wonderful giveaway. Thank you. A quick one, I am going to drop a link here for the Kahoot game. Please, when you are signing up, make sure you use your real name, please. Use your real name. And a quick one also, for the games, you are going to pick the options based on the shape of the bar that you have beside your question. You have triangle, you have square, you have oval shape. So in the options, you look at the shape of your option, then you pick it from the side. I don't know if you understand. If you are picking option A and it is over shape, then you go to the side of that question to pick over shape. All right. If you don't sign in with your real name, you may not be able to claim whatever you get if you win. And I'm going to drop the link on the chat box now. First come, first serve. That's the link. Then I will share my screen now so that everybody will see how it is going at the end here. I hope you can all see my screen.
Yes, we can.
All right, awesome. Yeah.
Is there a way to have a QR? Is there a QR code on that page as well?
No, but if it asks for pin, the pin will be provided for you. You'll see the pin.
Okay.
So like the game pin is loading. You use
Yeah.
the pin to get into the game, and that's the barcode.
Okay, yeah, that's the QR code. So in case you
Yeah.
are using your laptop, you can scan that QR code as well and use it on your phone.
Quickly, I'm waiting for participants to join. Who will be the first person to join today? Olashukwa is here. Ridwan Olashukwa is here. Let's have it. Let's have it. Educators, are we there?
Can you do me a favor? If you copy this particular link and put it on the chat, I think
The
that
link
should
is on the
take
chat.
them
The
there.
link is on the chat.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Tabashima
Yeah,
is
for
here.
the person asking for the
Is
code,
here.
it's 374412. I'm typing it here. 374.
Adidamola, you're welcome. This is a game of the Titans. I'm sorry, I can't see this. Is that Fatobi? Oluwatobi. You're welcome. We are like 29 thereabout on the group chat there. Can we please come up here and add the games quickly? If you have any challenge, just drop your question in the chat box.
I will respond. Yeah.
Okay. Please, Kid Pony, can you use your real name to join? I talked about using your real name. Oladejo Bilkis, you're welcome. Ruth Wanjiku is there. Peter Joy Mary, you're welcome. Dari, please, I dropped a message for you personally on WhatsApp, please.
Okay.
I think we are going to start. Others are not here. I don't know why they are not here.
Can we still give them like 1 or 2 minutes more, please?
Okay, fine. That's fine. That's fine.
So I can see people saying they don't understand the game. Don't worry about it. The most important thing for now is join. When you join, you see that it's pretty straightforward.
Okay, Happiness Uta, you're welcome. Tomato Quest Suzanne, I can see you. You're welcome. So while we are waiting for others to join, the game is just multiple choice game, simple questions around AI and what you have learned today. So your one is just join, attempt to win, and maybe you can go with something nice. Additional, we have 12 people here now. I think if we can have 15, we'll start because of time. Then I will lock it when we start so that nobody else can join.
Recording in progress.
Is whoever use Kid Pony as his or her nickname, please change it to your real name, please. Leave the
Okay, we're starting exactly 1 minute.
Okay, please, Diligent Dog, can you use your real name, please? So we are 15
I'm
already.
using my real name, but it just kept showing different nickname. I don't know. I typed in my real name.
It is well. All right, we are going to start now. 1, 2, 3. And the game is live.
So it should appear on your phone or whatever you've used to join, and then all you need to do is just select your answer. Joy Osilaja is leading the board.
Yes, she is. We have
Ridwan Olashupo.
Olashupo is leading now.
There is fire next to your name. It means you are hot.
Okay, let's see who is leading now. It is still Olashupo. Tabashima moved up a bit. Joy Oshilaja is on 2. Let's have it. Wow. Wonderful. Tabashima is on 3rd. Oluwatobiloba, Joy Oshilaja, you can do better. You can do better. Okay. Tabashima, you're really up to second. Wow, Oluwatobiloba took the second position. Tabashima is on third. Okay. Wow. Wow.
Almost everyone
So,
got this right. Yeah.
yes. Now, after 10 questions, we have Ridwan on spot 1, Oluwatobi spot 2, Tabashima spot 3, Happiness. I don't know what happened to Joy.
Joy, you're slacking. Let's go.
Joy, come up. Wow, 7 people got the question.
Excellent. Almost everyone got this one.
Yes, almost everyone. Oh.
Ridwan has refused to drop point too.
Yes, he's got fire in him. Wow. I'm impressed. Wow. 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 Tabashima, what is going on? Yes. Wow. Okay, we have 3 answers for Matrix, 2 for the Iron Man, 3 for Avatar, and 1 for Inception. What is the answer? Who is leading now? Wonderful. Great, great. Yeah. Wow. And the last question for the day, we say Avrido number 1, Oluwatobi number 2, Tavashima 3, Happiness 4. Then last question, please.
Tavashima, you can do it. Go. Ah.
Yes, and that is it. And
Yeah,
that
no
is
longer
it. 15 out of
Tavashima
20.
third.
Tavashima third. Oluwatobi second. And give it up for the champion, the Ridwan Olashipo. This is wonderful. This is wonderful. Thank you for playing the games. Before
Can we see the leaderboard?
yeah, I'm coming. I'm going to show that. I quickly want to take a
Yeah.
shot of this, please.
Okay, okay.
All right.